Hi everyone, welcome back. I'm Michael Sandler, your host on Inspire Nation. If you've ever needed healing in your life, body, mind, or soul, then do we have the Caves of Power show for you. Today I'll be talking with Sergio Magana, world-renowned Mexican healer and the author of several amazing books, including The Toltec Secret and Caves of Power, one of the most fascinating books I've ever read. And that's just what I want to talk with him about today, about ancient energy techniques for healing, rejuvenation, and manifestation. That plus we'll talk about an appointment with an eagle, tobacco in an egg, crystal skulls and obsidian mirrors, psychic surgery, Black Eagle's perception, flying men of Papantla, and what Armando and a spider has to do with anything. So, gotcha. So welcome to the show, Sergio. Are you ready to shine?
Of course, I'm ready to shine with everyone that will hear us and will be with us, and we will shine together.
Awesome, beautiful, and a mighty woohoo! So before we dive right into things, I've got to ask, what can you tell us about the life of your grandmother, Josefina?
She was raised in the beginning of the century in Mexico,
Mm-hmm.
and then she came from a kind of wealthy family. So she was forced to marry. In that time, the people were like arranging the marriages so that you marry with the one of this family and then the other. And so she was forced to marry with an owner of a big land, that is haciendas.
Mm-hmm.
And then she noticed all the injustice that was done against the indigenous people, how they were treated, how they were hated, how they were paying them, for example, like 3 pesos, and then they had to be in debt that because they had to spend like 5 for living, so for generations, and it was like an slavery. So actually, she became a great. People worried about indigenous rights and that,
Mm-hmm.
and also there she found like the one that become like one of the trainers in the secret arts of dreaming in the hacienda, and she became a very good dreamer and also learned how to do certain like psychic readings and that. And then when she divorced, that was one of the first divorced women in Mexico.
She was told earlier that she would marry somebody who came from the sea, if I understand right.
Yeah. Her godmother told her, because also was in this kind of knowledge, you will marry someone that comes from the sea. When she was forced to marry the owner of the hacienda, he didn't come from the sea, so she thought, okay, this was kind of not a true story. But then she divorced,
Mm-hmm.
and she began like working with the president at the time, Lázaro Cárdenas. And when the Spanish Civil War happened, so she was sent with the sister of the president to receive a group of refugees that were especially children from Spain. And the doctor that came there was my grandfather. And actually, that's when the prophecy came true, because she married someone that came from the sea. And then she was very good friend of the next president, that was Manuel Ávila Camacho, and of her brother, Maximino. And she predicted, because about with the prophetic dream, that he was going to pass away. He pretended to be the next president, that he was going to pass away very soon. And actually, he died in a very mysterious conditions after that. And my grandmother got a lot frightened because of this prophecy and many others that she had done, and that she got from her dreams. And she became really, really Catholic, and kind of denied that training that she had when she was in the hacienda, and the ability to foresee with the dreams. But she has been very special, because I think I was the one that kind of inherited those abilities and put them in practice, like two generations after.
Do you see her in your dreams?
Yes. Yeah, one of the main things that the ancient Mexicans teach you is like to, and okay, the ancient knowledge, but that is taught now, is that one of the main things that you can see dreaming is to see the dead people, because this is interesting and it's hidden in the language. The Mictli in Nahuatl, that is the ancient language, means dream, but also means the one that passed away. So it is said that dreaming is like dying. It has a lot. It's similar, and you can find the people that pass away in your dreams, and you can talk like we're talking now in this session. Of course, I don't see everyone that pass away. I only am able to see and chat with my grandmother and with my nanny that was very important in my life. But those are like the two main persons that I see in my dreams.
Awesome, and I wanna get there and to get to Nanny Rosa Hernandez Monroy in just a minute. Would you say that in a sense, the dream world is as real or as important as the waking world, quote unquote waking world?
As real, of course. If you have been practicing dreaming and that, if you are in a dream, things are tangible. It's not a visual thing. It's not like a film. Things are tangible. Things taste. And actually, I am totally convinced now because one of my dreaming teachers many years ago told me the one that doesn't remember or work with his dreams is like a living dead because has no control of his waking state. In that time, I felt kind of a little bit offended and annoyed because I wasn't aware of my dreams, or not a lot on that, and not working with them. But he told me because everything, in order to live it, you have to dream it first. For me, it was in that time. Probably I didn't believe it completely, but then now I am totally convinced. People that you haven't met then appear in your dreams before, places that you are going to be. Now I'm totally convinced that that thing about of the famous deja vu, that I have lived this before, is I have dreamt it before. And you recognize it from the dream, and then you say, okay, I have lived this before, but is that you are remembering the dream. And that's why I think in many of the languages, in all of the languages of the world, you always say, the girl of my dreams, the person of my dreams, my worst nightmare. That means that you dreamt it before, and then it happened.
So let's go from there, and I want to really blow this out in a little bit. Can you tell us how you were raised and how you ended up being raised with two moms?
The daughter of my grandmother, Josefina. She's my mother, and before I was born, she decided that she wanted to study and she wanted to work. So my siblings and me were really raised by people that they were working in my parents' house. But my siblings were raised by a different nanny than me. I was raised by one that is called Rosa Hernandez Monroy, that she was the daughter of the curandero, the healer of a group that are named the Otomis, that they live in Toluca, very close to Mexico City. She was supposed to be the next one in the lineage of healing of her father, but for circumstances of life, she had to escape her town, and then she escaped to Mexico City without speaking even one word of Spanish and barefoot. And she finished working in my parents' house. So, like she saw how I was born because she was there before, so I became like the son that she never had.
Yay.
And in a beautiful way, it has been like, I think, the most special person for me, with my other mother, of course. But I had like two different types of mother. One very Catholic. Both were Catholic, but in the indigenous group, to be Catholic is with a syncretism and that. So my mother was Catholic, the normal mother, Carmen. and of course science oriented, and she was very academic. She used to study masters and PhDs and that. And then Rosita, and for example, that's why my childhood was quite special, because I always knew that there was a kind of plan A and plan B for things.
Mm-hmm.
Because even in health issues, when I had like a headache, my normal mother would give me an aspirin or something like that. Rosita would come with tobacco and would begin spinning it against the clock, and then we'll blow, and then blow out, and the pain will disappear like magic. Magic, actually, that I call it like advanced science.
Mm-hmm.
Or for some things that were major aches. For example, my mother will take me to the doctor or whatever, and Rosita will take, for example, or a coconut, and we'll begin doing like all the cleansing, and then go out of the house and smash the coconut, and it had to broke.
Wow.
So to break the negativity,
Mm-hmm.
and you will be okay, like in 1 hour or something like that. So all my childhood, I saw that there was like a plan A that was like traditional medicine and what society follows, and the plan B of Rosita, and that they both work in the same way, because you got results
Mm-hmm.
from both of them. And that's I think very important in my adulthood, that now I know that traditional medicine is not the only option. I respect it a lot. Sometimes it's needed, but there are some things that in which medicine cannot do anything, and there are also certain things in which energy is not able to do. For example, if you had needed extremely surgery because you lost a bone or something like that, you need a surgery. But so I have tried to be doing in my life the perfect balance, but I try to use much more energy.
That makes sense. And I'm somebody who's had a balance of both. I have twin titanium femurs and twin titanium hips from two near-death experiences. And I was actually reading your book about surgery cutting through energy fields, and I was going, oh no.
Yeah, but you can redo it. It's quite easy. And I also have titanium in my knee. And
Titanium brother.
yeah. So because I had an accident in the motorway, and for that one, you need a surgery.
Yeah.
But for many others, you can do certain other healings.
Mm-hmm. Can you tell us what is, and you use this, I guess, when you were growing up, maybe particularly with your brother, peripheral vision and black eagle's perception?
Yeah, that was when I was very, I think like at 7, something like that. My brother was like 14. I was 7. And he was really mean and abusive with me.
Oh.
So he used to hit me and to punch me and to begin teasing me and that. So my nanny, that was quite protective, so once she told me, when he's teasing you and that, just move like kind of the eyes in a certain. She gave me like 2 formulas, because one is like crossing the eyes and putting them up, and the other moving them like in a peripheral vision.
Mm-hmm.
And she told me he will kind of disappear of your vision. Of course, she didn't explain black eagle perceptions, nothing like that. And I began doing it in like that formula, like a game, but it's truth. When you begin like moving the eyes in that way, people or the things that were like in your vision, they disappear. Of course, I did it also with my mother. You came back, of course, when you heard, "Are you hearing me?"
Oh,
Something
no.
like that, and then
I'm
you
not
came
here.
back.
I'm not here.
Yeah. And also when I was bored with the teachers and that, and then I forgot. I did it a lot, but then life takes you in the more normal way. But when I found many years after, my obsidian mirror teacher, Armando, he told me that those techniques that actually are in many of the Mayan statues or in the Olmec heads, and that those postures of the eyes, They have different names, and that one is the Black Eagle perception, to take you, for example, when you are in front of the mirror and you are able not to see your reflection, so you are taking yourself beyond the projection of the mind. You are going back to what it was named Senteotl, or the first energy, or Amomati, the state without mind. And so it's going like to the first energy, to see, like, if you want to call it your spirit, that for us is Mojokoyani, the one that is creating yourself. And actually it's a very deep thing, because you are seeing what all the tradition have said, that this is an illusion, that we come from this first energy, and you can achieve those things through moving the eyes in different positions.
Does it actually take you out of the situation, or you're just basically not checked out, you're checked into someplace else?
When I was young, I was just pretending, when I was a child, because you wouldn't understand these concepts, just kind of escaping of the situation. But now that you know how to use it, for example, in the mirror, and that is actually to begin solving your life. For example, if you are full of fear, so that fear is expressed, that fear is a projection of your mind, and your reflection is a projection of your mind. If you are able to move the eyes in that way, that you go beyond that projection, then you are going to the place before mind. And then you can ask the mirror to pull the fear there, and then you feel like a vacuum, because the mirror begins pulling your fear, or your health issues, or your depression, or whatever you have, into this place that is before mind, and it gets transformed into nothing. So it's an amazing way of healing. But I learned that like 20 or 30 years after not 20 after Rosita. The counts are not as, but she only taught me to escape beyond the situation. But then I asked her, she passed away like 2 years ago, and then I asked her what did she use it for, not only for telling me escape of your brother or something. And she told me it was of one of the healing techniques of his father, that sometimes he used to disappear the people in his perception. It doesn't mean that the person disappeared, or I don't know, but because you are in your own perception.
Yeah.
And to take them back to that first stage of the energy, and command there to return healed. And that it didn't work all the times, but it worked in a huge average. And actually, when I began doing healings, I began integrating that idea that Rosita gave me.
Oh, it's like as above, so below. You're going to this other place, and then you're bringing it back, or you're taking what's here and saying, take care of it up there.
Yeah. It's exactly like that. Because then when I learned the mirror and that, I said, okay, you taught me this like 20 years ago, but what were you using? Because she wasn't using mirrors. What were you using it for? And he said, my father was expert. She didn't. I said, I just learned, but not just learned. I learned from him. I wasn't as expert as him, but he was kind of expert in taking in that perception the person to this black eagle, or to this state without mind, and then doing certain things there, like fixing them in his perception, and bringing them back healed.
Awesome. Is that something that's hard for us to learn how to do? Is that a very technical process to learn how to move the eyes that way?
No, it's not. Because, for example, now that and in the when I was doing also the promotion for the other book, The Toltec Secret, a lot of people were asking me, like, does it take you ages how many years to do this? I said, actually, to learn how to disappear, or how to disappear people in your perception, and that, you can do it in 2 days, 3. But then it comes like the mastery and being able to stay there and what to do there, and then you have like a complete life to practice. But the mechanical process of how to disappear people is quite easy.
Can you give a starting point for people?
Of course. Okay, because it will be safer. I was thinking, because normally you don't do it in normal mirrors, because normal mirrors, you can do it.
Yeah.
But normal mirrors, it's physics. The black mirrors, like an obsidian mirror, they absorb. Normal mirrors reflect. So it won't work for disappearing your problems. But it can be done. But if you put your hands, for example, in the front, we never think about that. But for seeing solid objects, we can create like an angle that is kind of a closing triangle. So in order for now I'm seeing you, for example, in the screen. So I'm creating this type of angle. So if I want to not to see you or to begin disappearing yourself, but that would be, for example, if I use my hands, the first thing is to open the focus. To stop creating like this angle in a closed triangle, and to begin seeing like here and here of my hands.
So the outside of your hands.
Yeah. So it's open the focus outside your hands, and then it's to do peripheral vision. The most you can with your right eye to the right and with the left to the left, and then is to begin closing halfway the eyes, and then the hands will begin like disappearing. They will begin getting like dark, and that, of course, the eyes are muscles, have muscles. So, in order that you get like them to completely disappear, you have to practice at least 2 or 3 days, so that your angle opens more, so that you are able to see there completely disappearing. And that's more or less what we work for, that perception. But there are many others. There are the one that allows you to see ancestors. There is the other one that allows you to see the future, the one that allows you to see energetic fields. So it's like the complete science of moving the eyes in different ways to get different like realities.
Very cool. I read a book by Stuart Wilde many years ago who talked about being able to see spirits around the periphery, and that they're always there when you look out the periphery. And I started practicing with that, and I was able to see, this was after a near-death experience, and I wanted to see energy and auras. And seeing out the peripheral, I started to see energy swirling up, like gold light swirling up around trees, always when I would look out the peripheral to see this energy moving around.
Yeah, the secrets of the other worlds are not in this angle, are here. And if you see Egyptians in the Mexican codexes, and that they never drew a face in the
straightforward.
In the straightforward, they are always in the profile. And what's about peripheral visions? Of course, if you ask academics, they will tell you, because they didn't have the perspective to draw straight forward. And then you say, oh my God, they could build these temples in which the body is preserved like thousands of years, or the equinox goes just straight there and they don't know. No, but they were telling you that the peripheral visions is where you are going to find the other realities. And actually, it's not only the peripheral, because also like crossing the eyes, but like we did when we were children, but before the things become two, like we used to play, like everyone like a child, there is a point that if you begin moving up and down the eyes in that certain angle, you can get like results, very similar results. And that's like the Mayan way. The Toltec way is like, and the Mayan way is like.
So for people who are just listening, he's saying the Toltec way is with the eyes going out, and the Mayan way is the eyes crossing in.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have a lot of people listening to the shows and doing doing all sorts of weird things with their eyes now. Not while you're driving.
No, you don't want to disappear the road.
So when did you begin to see energy fields yourself?
in that first stage, I learned how to disappear people. Well, not disappear people, but disappear them of my perception.
That'd be a whole
Then,
nother trick.
yeah. Then, that life is really funny, because when something is meant to be, it's going to be. Because I wanted to be an actor, and like my family was very traditional, and they say no, not to be an actor, and so I became really rebel. And my mother tried to send me to a therapist that she thought that she was a normal therapist, psychology, and she was, but not exactly like a normal one, because she was psychologist. Also, she did hypnosis, and but she also could see like the energetic fields doing not the complete peripheral vision, but sometimes she was seeing like your aura, and just within a less angle. And then, for example, that was the first time that she told me, because I want to be an actor, and that, and she moved like kind of the eyes, and I saw it, and she said, you are not going to be an actor, you are going to be a healer like me, and a very good one. That's the first time that in my mind crossed the idea of probably becoming a healer, or to be doing what I'm doing now. And then she said that but she kind of do it. Her name is Laura Munoz. She's still a very good friend and a great practitioner in Mexico City. So if everyone is in Mexico, Google her, and you will have a great therapist. But I think she did intuitive, by intuition. She didn't know exactly what she was doing, but I saw it, that she was kind of moving the eyes, because I did it when I was a child. And then she said that what she was seeing in the energetic field, for example, was in the energy that was just because there is energy surrounding you, a lot of energy, but the one that is just next to your body, if it was blue, that area, or purple, was in balance. If it was yellow or red, that area was had like or over energized, or you had it wasn't completely balanced, or you were ill of that area. So I began like trying to get like I said, okay, I want to see that, and I want to see that, and I began moving the eyes in order to be able to see that. And I saw that doing it in a less angle, you began seeing like what she was describing exactly, like if it's blue, if it's red, if it's that. And then that's how I began seeing energetic fields by myself.
Wow. And so was that when you're starting to go, wait, there could be another path for me in life here?
Yes. And then she also invited me to some of her energy workshops, because she was teaching energy workshops. And then, like I kept being very rebel, my parents kicked me out actually of my house. So I said, okay, what do I do? What do I do? The only thing that I know how to do is like energy work. And I began mixing what I learned with Laura and the things of the nanny about disappearing the people and trying to fix them there. And I became like a healer.
Oh, it was fascinating. If I understand right, you were at some small event with just a few people, and you were talking. You were like, "Well, you've had surgery here. You've had surgery on your throat, your legs," and then you said because there are meridian lines that are cut, like we were talking about earlier, and you could see this.
Yeah, that was that wasn't even my talk. It was like a small talk in which one friend tried to sell vitamins to the people, and it was about vitamins and that. And I don't know how the talk got like the began being about energy. And of course, when people have had surgeries in certain area, or it's very recent, because then it becomes more normal, or they have many in the same area, you see a lot of yellow in that area in the energetic field. In the one that is just not here, in the one that is just next to the body.
Okay.
So, so when we were talking about energy, and there was a lady there, Fanny, it's her name, and I just moved like a little bit the eyes, and I saw a lot of yellow here, and I asked her, "Did you have a surgery in this area?" And she told me, "Yeah, I had many." How do you say it in the ones from when
C-sections.
C-sections, those ones, and she said, "Yeah, I had 3," and she said, "How did you know?" And I said, "Because you have a lot of energy there. That because your energy was broken there, so it's not flowing anymore." Then there was one of her friends that was Lilia, that was quite skeptical, and she said, "Okay, do I have?" And I can move the eyes a little bit, and I saw a lot in the legs. That was more challenging, because I said, "The legs." So my mind, but I said, "Okay, I see a lot of yellow in your legs," and she said, "Oh my God," because she had so many circulatory problems and many surgeries around her legs. And then there was finally one that had like Maru, it was her name, turtleneck, and she said, "And me?" And I said, "In the neck." And she had recently had like a biopsy of the thyroids, and then they say, "How do you know it?" I said, "Because you see it, because the meridians are cut." And they asked me, "Can you fix it?" And actually one of the techniques of Laura was how to fix that, and I said, "Yes, of course." And that was actually my start as a healer, because Fanny was like the director of a behavioral center in Mexico City, and she began sending me all her clients. And in 1 month, I was like kind of completely booked, and so quickly. And one of those clients, she used to do like a very popular show in Mexico City, of radio show about astrology and energy healing and that, and she invited me, and we talk about all these things about the meridians, if they are cut and that, and the people of the radio show were really amazed about that, and they offered my own show. And then in 3 months, I had like a radio show, a lot of students, and many things. So I think it was kind of meant.
Beautiful, beautiful. So from there, what do you mean? Because this really gets into the idea of destiny. What is the collective dream of great-grandmother Spider?
Like, I think we have we want certain things, but if we see like the synchronicity, sometimes you have a kind of destiny that comes from your ancestors. For example, my grandmother Josefina, that she had this ability of dreaming, to foresee the future in the dreams, and that passion for indigenous cultures. Then my nanny, her destiny was to be the healer of her community, but for these circumstances she had to escape. And then I am in that bloodline. I get this like second mother. I begin this training. Your mother thinks that is sending you to a therapist that is a normal psychology, and results that is the one of the aura reading and and that. And then all these facts becomes you, and then suddenly you are in a talking about vitamins, and then you say, "Okay, you had a surgery here and there," and in 3 months you have a lot of clients and a radio show and that. And I fought against this destiny for a lot of time, a lot of years. I said, "This is not my place. I want to be an actor. What I'm doing here?" But I kept doing it, and now that I still love arts, and that every time that I go to a theater or something like that, and I see that in the past I thought I should be there. Now I say that's wonderful how they do it, but thanks God that I'm doing what I'm doing. So it's a kind of I think I dreamt it, and it was a dream also of my nanny, of the ancestors, and that then leads into you.
That makes sense. It's one of the challenges that listeners have on the show is getting out of the head and into, I guess, the dream world, into the thought heart space, to allow, because you could have just fought this each step of the way, but it sounds like you kind of waved the white flag and said, "Oh, okay, I have a radio show."
Yeah. I said, no, and in that time I was planning. I said, okay, I can do the radio, and I can keep doing my drama studies, and then eventually I will become an actor. But then this became bigger and bigger, and the healings came, and the testimonials, and suddenly I had to make the choice: do I want to be an actor, or do I want to keep this spiritual path? And I decided for the spiritual path. But in the beginning, it wasn't my intention at all. For my family, I was like the weird one, totally like, what? And it's not easy, because I understand many of the people that probably are your listeners, or on that, sometimes they feel that they are weird because their family are like totally in other reality, if we can say it, and you feel that you are not understood, that you cannot even talk about what you're doing. But then, if I can tell the people from my experience, at the end they understand you, and if you respect each other, it goes with the flow.
Woohoo! So from there, and I want to get into a little bit about dreams and healing in just a little bit. And everybody, you're going to want to go out and get Caves of Power. It's a fascinating book. Lots of amazing techniques in here. With that said, can you tell us about, I'm going to try to pronounce the mountain that appeared in your dreams. Popocatépetl.
Yeah, you were almost there. Popocatépetl, Mike.
Thank you. Gracias. What did that mountain mean to you, and what was it telling you to do?
Okay. But first of all, before that mountain appeared in my dreams, appeared one person that I think is the most significant after Rosita in my life. That is Hugo, one of my teachers. That he heard me in the radio, and he said he's the one that is going to spread the knowledge of my lineage, because he had been in the Mexican tradition for years. And he went to look for me, and then he told me, I came to teach you.
I'll pause you for a second, because his story was really cool. He said he was supposed to teach somebody who would get on the bus, and he was a bus driver.
Bus driver.
You didn't get on the bus physically, but your voice did.
Yeah, he told me, you got in my bus through the radio. And he's still my friend. He works with me still when I do pilgrimage to Mexico and that. But he's a very flamboyant person. So he has these kind of ideas, and he suddenly decided that he was not going to teach anyone that didn't was in his bus. But when I entered in the bus through the radio, and then he went and looked for me, and he began teaching me all the cycles of the universe according to the Aztec and Toltecs, the importance of dreaming, and that. And then he began training me once a week in individual sessions for years and years. And then his very good friend Xolotl was my teacher of Nahualism. And between both of them, and with my obsidian teacher Miro Armando, they created. They gave me a lot, and now is what I melt in what I teach around the world. But after Hugo appeared, so I begin really being aware of my dreams. And then there are certain dreams that we call white dreams, in which a lot of the dream comes in the white color, and that they are spiritual dreams. So I kept seeing, like that is the sacred mountain of Mexico, the Popocatépetl, completely snowed. That is not always like that. So if you saw it completely snowed, that means that it's white, a white dream, because the white is predominant. And he was telling me, because it's a masculine mountain, you must go to the Andes to learn how to work with the Mexican mountains. I dreamt it first time. Then again, I dreamt it like 3 or 4 months later that you must go to the Andes to learn how to work with the Mexican mountains. After I dreamt it, I dreamt it 3 times. Then I said, okay, this is like a kind of command. I went to the Andes, and actually I didn't know at that time that a lot of the Andean tradition is about mountains, is about what they call the spirit of the Apu, that to get these cuyas or these stones from the mountains to build your own altar. And that, so actually I learned a very beautiful and magical tradition about mountains that then I began using with the Mexican mountains in the same way.
Wow. At a most basic level, what did the mountains teach you?
Oh, the mountains. The mountains are so powerful because for the ancient ones, they were like the only thing that existed that could reach like the three different levels of existence. The underworlds, because they are inside the earth, the middle world, and the celestial world. And if you see, that's why even if for the Greeks they say that the gods lived like in the top of the mountain, and those are metaphors because they reach like the three worlds. So actually, what you learn about the mountain is how to call the mountain to your own physical body, to begin fixing your life, to begin fixing your unconscious, that we will be your underworlds, and to put you in contact with the celestial energy. That is very, very beautiful, and they want to work. And actually, there are many different types of mountains. There are like masculine mountains that they have like an entrance here, like in a different part of your body, like moon mountains that allow you for lucid dreaming, that have like the energy enter here, like sun mountains that their energy enter here.
So like the different chakras, crown chakra, for people who are listening, crown chakra, throat chakra, heart chakra.
Yeah, in the Andes they call it chumpis, that means belts, but in the different belts. And that's how you can do healings with the mountains and that. But then the mountain gives you messages, sometimes that are very personal. And actually then, that's in a first level. Then when you go, what I really then develop in Mexico is, because it is said that you go to a mountain to help the collective. So there is a level in the Mexican knowledge that is called Tepeyolochtli. Tepetl means mountain, Yolotl is heart, so it's the heart of the mountain. So it's how to use the caves that are in the mountains. That's why the book is named Caves of Power, and that to really develop yourself and to be able to help yourself and the real power of your inside, and to help the collective. And I learned rituals in which you are able to, through using a cave, to call for rain, and it rains, and things that for many people could be like science fiction, but they are completely true. It's the power of a mountain, of the heart of a mountain, that is the cave. So, but actually I think that it was like in a perfect sequence. I wouldn't understand that my destiny were the caves if I didn't understand first what was outside the caves, the power of a mountain by itself, the ability to reach these three different levels of existence.
How important was it for you to understand some of the dream world in order to go down this path?
A lot, because for example, for most of the people, if they see their mountain telling them, you must go whatever to do that and that, first of all, they wouldn't remember, because normal people is not aware of their dreams. And then second, they wouldn't do it. But then as I saw so many synchronicities, as I began seeing how really what you dream becomes truth, how you can control your life through dreams, how you can create from great businesses, because it's not everything about spiritual, great healings, bestsellers, and love, and for the most beautiful things through your dreams. So I begin getting really aware. For example, now in the way that I live now, for me it's more important what happens in the night than what happens in the day. Of course, the day I love it, and it's that. But I now in the way that I think is that what is happening in the day is product of what happened in the previous night or previous nights. So I'm just getting like the consequence.
It's something. It's interesting. I've experienced this a lot in the past, and so now I journal all of my dreams. If I have a rough morning, an emotionally distraught morning, I can trace it directly back to my dreams. For some reason, the energy left by my dreams was then spilling over into our day. What can we do? What simple steps to start to become more aware of our dreams, or to start walking down the dream world road?
Okay, simple. When we are falling asleep, we are crossing through a state that is called hypnagogic.
Yes.
So you can begin giving commands to yourself when you're going to fall asleep. So if you want to begin, for example, being aware of your dreams, so you can begin falling asleep just repeating yourself. Today I remember my dreams. Today I remember my dreams. Today I remember my dreams. Today I remember my dreams, until you fall asleep. And in the next morning, before moving, before going to the toilet and whatever, just see what you can get of the dream and begin thinking what happened before. Because if you think what was next, the next thing is that you woke up. So you must go in reverse. So what happened before, what happened before, what happened before, and then you will be getting like the sequence of your dreams. Of course, probably it won't happen. For some people, it's very quickly. For some people, it takes more time. But that's a very, very simple thing about how to begin remembering dreams. For example, if you want really to create your life through dreams, and that in my book, The Toltec Secret, there is a complete explanation of how to plant dreams in which you destroy, for example, or your health issues. Then you plant a certain archetype to dream with, and then in order to dream it, and then to manifest in your life.
Awesome. So we start to become more aware of our dreams. Is there an easy step? And I recommend everyone. And I was diving into this before the interview. I only had time to get through one book and part of the second. I was diving into the Toltec Secret, and I was being mind blown by this thing. As I told you before we started the show, I'm like brain cooked. Are there simple steps to be able to start to become more aware or awake or present in our dream world?
First is to set an intention, because the problem of the modern culture is that they have told us that they are not important. It's like, it's just a dream, so don't worry. I would be really worried about it's just a dream, because there is where you are creating your life, and that. So those intentions, like I remember the dreams and that, are very good. Then, for example, if you really want to become a little bit more lucid in your dreams and that, in the first half of your night, whatever, it is not in a specific time. Is, for example, if you sleep at 8, your half of the night will be at 11, 12, something like that. So in the first cycle, you don't have a lot of dreams. You will begin having dreams in the second cycle. So if you are able to uh, uh, cut like the night, in which way? You can, for example, drink a lot of liquids and eventually you will have to go to the toilet. And then if you don't go back immediately and to your pillow and fall asleep, and you begin like delaying the way that you fall away, that you fall asleep. For example, I do certain things like I visualize like my blood in my heart, like slow the heart, 1, slow the heart, 2, and then you will, if you keep counting, you will begin feeling heavy, then stiff, then cold, and then suddenly you will hear that when you are sleeping, that kind of breathing that you have when you are sleeping, and you didn't lose consciousness. If you are able to keep there for a while, then you will begin dreaming being present. Of course, for people that is hearing this very simple explanation, it doesn't work always at the first time. Many times you are slow the heart 1, slow the heart 2, and then what happens next is next morning. But when it happens, you are totally present because you didn't lose consciousness.
And then we have to start to wrap this up and let you get some rest before your next interview. So just a few more questions and we'll jump into a brief meditation. But when we're in this state, we can move past emotional blocks, subconscious blocks, program what we want for our future.
Yeah, of course. That's the point, for me at least, for dreaming. Not only like the experience of flying or entertaining yourself. It's, you can destroy your problems, you can overcome addictions, you can create things that you would like in your life. So, and of course at the end, one of the main purposes for dreaming is also learning how to die, because it will be very similar. If you are able to recognize many times that you are dreaming, then you will be able to recognize that you are dead. But of course, that's in a long scale. The first thing that we want is to create health and to create the things that you would like to experience.
I hear a lot of similarities between what you're saying and the tradition you're coming from and what little I know about Egyptian teachings as well. There seem to be some very similar paths and teachings and knowledge here.
Yeah, if you see, because for example, when we are trained in my tradition, in the Mexican tradition, how to enter in dreams, you exit from the navel from the chest to the dreamland in the shape of an animal and you see many hieroglyphics of that, in which there is someone lying down and then is like exiting from the navel like a hawk or something like that. And then when I see it, I said, okay, this is the same thing. Of course, I don't need a teacher to be able to interpret that. Is what is taught in the Mexican tradition, how to enter in the dream world or in the dead world in the shape of different animals. But you see many hieroglyphics from people dying that they have like Isis and Nephthys like this, like crying because they are dying, or people sleeping that is exiting like from the navel of that it will be his, for us, his Nawal. For them, their Kaurba that is going there to the dream world. Yeah, it has a lot of similarities.
Awesome. So, Caves of Power, I found this to be a really beautiful book. Why did you write it, and why is it so beneficial for people?
Why I write it? Because I think we are in a transition. What nowadays science calls precession of equinoxes are cycles of 26,500 years, and the ancient Mexicans split that into 4. That those periods of 6,000 years, more of 6,000 years, are named suns. So we're going in from the transition of what we call the fifth to the sixth.
Mm-hmm.
In the fifth sun is like being awake, where everything is outside. So God is outside, medicine is outside. You need a healer, you need a doctor, you need a plant, you need something. We're going like to a sun of the Nawal, in which is like closing eyes, and you are going back inside. So in these periods, healing will be inside.
Mm-hmm.
The creation will be inside. That's why also it's very important dreaming. And I wanted really, when I was a healer, because now I only do it in very special occasions, suddenly it became so huge, like the demand and the waiting list, and that I saw I cannot cover all these people, and I don't want, actually. It's exhausting for me. I want everyone to be more according to the sixth sun, and to learn how to heal themselves,
Mm-hmm.
how to take their power in themselves, and to take their responsibility. And that's why I wrote Caves of Power. I put, I think, the best techniques that I learned with my teachers, and like the assemblement from Rosita, Laura, Hugo, Xolotl, Armando, together, so that people can do psychic surgeries for them and for others, can rejuvenate their body, or can create their reality. I think it's the time not for looking for someone to do it. Sometimes you need that
Mm-hmm.
help, but I wanted, really, if someone asked me what would you like to be your legacy, is that I taught people how to do it, and that it reproduces by itself.
Woohoo! And not only have you taught people how to do it, but I'm fascinated at just how much in both of your books, how much of the heritage and culture you have kept alive in your books, because that is so, I think, so incredibly important. And whether you got it from elders, whether you brought it back from the dream world, it's in here and it's amazing.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, actually, one of my teachers, Xolotl, he preserved a complete lineage that has been taught from masters of student of 1,460 years at least. So there is a lot of the ancient heritage there, and I tried to put it as pure as I could, uh, because that kind of information, sometimes I thought, if he dies, or because most of his teachers have passed away, so it's
Mm-hmm.
totally lost. So someone has to write it, and to put it somewhere, so that it doesn't get lost.
Well, thank you so much for that. My wife, Jessica, she's the producer. She always wants me to ask if a guest has any, if you have any words of wisdom for parents for their kids today.
Yes. Like we're in this transition from the fifth to the sixth sun. The first thing that we see, and that you're seeing in all the world, are like the underworlds, and is where our mind is trapped, ancestral patterns,
Mm-hmm.
and these kind of things. So probably we can see that in a lot of young people now, and that. But I always advise to the people, if you're having problems with your child, with your sons and daughters, and that, begin looking at the family, begin looking which are the ancestral patterns that are being repeated,
Mm-hmm.
and then, even without telling that you should do this and should do that, if you begin with your intention healing the ancestors that repeated those patterns, then you will see the change in your son or in your daughter, even without fighting and nothing like that. Begin getting aware, because we inherit these patterns. So that would be like my best advice. Instead of fighting, instead of discussing and that, just see what is being repeated in your family, and try to heal that in your ancestors. How can you do it, even with a candle, and praying to the ancestors that were alcoholics, or that were violent, or with that, to do the healing. And when it's an ancestral healing, it comes to the first generation.
Awesome. Thank you. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So with that said, a couple quick wrap-up questions and a real brief meditation. First, what personally brings you the greatest happiness, or what I call the woohoo factor?
Sorry, what?
What brings you the greatest happiness, or what I call the woohoo factor?
Now that I travel around the world a lot, and that to go back to my family and to my friends, they're kind of really important. So that is like the a lot of the happiness, and also to when the people tell me I read a book, I healed myself, the amazing changes that produces my woohoo factor.
Woohoo! So where can people go to find out more and to find your beautiful books?
My books, okay, they can be found in Amazon, in bookshops, and they can go to my website, that is sergiomagana.com, or in Facebook, Sergio Magana, and they can find everything about me there, where I'm going to be and to teach and everything.
Fantastic. And if you're driving down the road and didn't catch that or didn't catch how to spell that, come on over to inspirenationshow.com and we'll have the links to get you over to Sergio as well. Before a real brief meditation, do you have any last words of wisdom that you'd like to share with people today?
Yeah, I would like to tell the people that what we started always with my two mothers, that there is always like a plan A and plan B. That if you feel desperate today, or you have a health issue or something, there is always one other option. Just look for it, and if you can be the provider of the second option for yourself, you will be much more than satisfied.
Woohoo! Thank you so much. Do you have a brief meditation you wouldn't mind sharing with us?
Of course. Okay, explaining that we are like in a new sun. So we will begin breathing in the power of the sun and take it to our blood to empower the blood and to reawake the power of healing of that blood. And then we will take it to different areas. We will do it 13 times. And then we will take it. It's a brief meditation, but it will be like to reawake the sacred power of our own blood. Okay. Close your eyes.
Unless you're driving a car. Do this later.
Okay, yeah. Take a deep breath. When you breathe out, take out all the heavy energy. Take other deep breath. When you breathe out, tune with the energy of the new sun. And what we're going to do is not a metaphor. It's completely real. There are some particles all around. So now, breathe in that sun around you. Take it to your blood, just with your intent, and reawake the healing power of your blood. We will do it 13 times. Again, take the sun particles, the new vibration of the sun, the new period, and reawake that power of healing of the sun. Third, breathe in, take it to your blood, reawake the healing power of your blood. A fourth time. Fifth. Sixth. Take the sun particles, the power of the sun, to your blood. The combination blood, sun, can heal anything in your own body. The seventh. Eight. Nine. 10. 11. 12. 13. Now, just command your blood to awake and take the sacred power of your blood with the sun to the liver. Digest the anger of all your life. Heal your liver. Now, take the sacred power of your blood to your lungs. Digest the sadness. Heal your lungs of the grief, of any loss that you had. Now, take the sacred power of your blood combined with the new energy of the sun to your kidneys and digest any fear, any guilt, and heal your kidneys. And now, take the sacred power of your blood to your stomach and digest your traumas. And now, if you have any health issue, take the sacred power of your blood to that area, combined with the new energy of the sun, of this sixth sun, and command the blood to become the medicine. Command yourself to heal yourself. Perfect. And with that energy, when I count 4, you may come back. 1, 2, 3, 4. Come back.
Wow. Woohoo!
Yeah, of course you have to be a little bit longer everywhere, but like now we are a little bit tight of time. But it's a very simple way, but powerful, to take the power of the sun to the blood and to reawake that power, the medicine of our inside.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Well, thank you so much, Sergio. It's been fantastic having you on the show. Everyone, go out, get Caves of Power. This has been awesome. I'm so honored and blessed that you're sharing this work with the world. Keep it up. We support you. We support you. We support you.
Oh, thank you so much, Michael. It has been a lovely interview, and I hope to see you soon, and thank you.
Thank you. For everyone out there, this is Michael Sandler saying, be well, have fun, get Caves of Power, and start practicing ancient energy healing techniques today, and shine bright. Woohoo! Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, be sure to like below. Also, leave your comments. Have some real fun with it. Subscribe to our channel where you're going to get more great videos, more interviews coming up. And check out our website, inspirenationshow.com. That's where you'll find tips, blogs, information, videos you won't find anywhere else, and useful and helpful resources to really help you kickstart your life and to shine bright. Thanks so much again. Thank you for your support. Like, comment, subscribe. See the website. Thanks so much and have fun. Of course, shine bright. Woohoo!